And I would say I wouldn't let it happen, but I was not notified. That was something that was surprising to me. All right, so to close out these basic points and then to get to the folks so they can talk, these are the points and the breaches. All right, each person has specific breaches. Some of them dealt with moral code, and we'll go through them as they testify. I'll come back and show the details. And they dealt with breaches in the actual juror's contract, where the juror's contract states specific things, and if you're doing something different, that's a breach. There's one more thing I wanted to get to. Okay. Yeah, so these are all the breaches. I recorded them in summary, and then I dealt with this. I dealt with an offer to say, after we hear this evidence and look at it, this is what we are offering to Ken Way, so this does not become a judgment. This becomes a regular arbitration, a plea deal that does not go on his honor record if he is found guilty. Because if he is found guilty on his honor record, I have to respond differently than what we have here, which is confession of a breach, agreement with the evidence as it's presented, rebuttal to anything that you don't think, and then still agreeing to a plea agreement so myself, the Juror Society, and Ken can decide, how to operate this to the agreement of the claimants. And so that is my end goal, is to do that. So what I want to do now is I want to let Love She go first and tell her story, her position, her breaches, and then we'll let Yasmine and then Karen go, and then I'll close out, and then we'll pass the baton to Ken so he can come back and say his piece. And then I think we should do cross-examinations after Ken states his piece. All right, so
that was fine.
Okay, got you. All right, so we're going to Love She.
Okay. Greetings, everybody. You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I will, be respectful of the time. But with that said, I'll give an abbreviated version. My initial grievance is pretty detailed. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Initial grievance is pretty detailed. I felt it was necessary to provide as much detail as I did to give the context of why I presented the grievance in the first place. So the first I'll start by saying there were 3 services. I registered a tribal business. Let me back up. I had a corporation on the state side, and I enlisted Juris Ken because I wanted him to assist me in making that business that was listed with the state here, transferring it over and making it a tribal entity. So the business in question is beneath the canvas, and I wanted to align that business with the benefits that I'm getting over here as the national. Okay, so initially, my three concerns didn't happen all at once, right? I didn't want to file a grievance. We make, there's oversight with any type of system, and people are putting data, there's always some, oversight or something got left off. And I understand that as somebody who builds systems for a living, right? So initially, when I realized that I had an incorrect W-9 form, for example, I didn't forget about it, but I did communicate once I realized what happened, which was documents were presented to me. Once I realized that the typo had been made, I communicated and expressed that I wanted, a corrected form. As you can see in my initial grievance, I sent several communications about it, and the corrected form was received on December 22nd. My initial correspondence regarding this particular incident was October 20th. Okay. This is not the first tribal, but this is not the only tribal business that I've registered with ARNA. Okay? And as a result of that, it came to my attention that the process that Ken and I went through was missing some key pieces as far as I knew. I have 5 registered businesses with ARNA, and to get that done, I utilized 3 jurists. All right. So it wasn't until that point that I realized I had a missing tax exemption certificate. The details are there, and it was at that time that I realized that there was a service level charge. So the communication that I had, thank you. The communication that I had was made written and verbal, right? So, of course, the phone calls I don't have here, but I do have the exchanges in the text messages and the emails. My concerns are, one, the time that it took to respond, 2, questions, thank you, questions about
so we write that
how things were handled. Okay, thanks.
So what we got to do, and just helpful to the witnesses, is cut out as much fluff as possible. Tell exactly what was wrong. I know you did submit a detailed thing, but we are recording. These are the 3-4 things that was wrong. This is how he handled it. We can bring further detail. If we even need to extend the hearing, we can do that to bring that evidence in and present it forward. So as we go with the witness, stick to very detailed things. Present the thing that was wrong as a breach. It could be the taking of money without the service, whatever, and present your evidence. So we're going to have to go to Sister Yasmine if you're on.
She mentioned something in the text that she's at work, but she's on mute, so she's listening. So I don't know if she's even.
I mean, I can read off her affidavit, the basics of what she's saying, because I'm familiar with her case. If that's okay with the Jewel Society.
Yes, if you can read it, I can give you give me like 2 minutes, and I'll be ready.
Okay, so I don't.
You can read it if you'd like to.
Okay. All right. Well, I was going to say, we gotta respect the fact that she's at work. So,
I was going to say, do we want to go to the next witness first and then come back there?
Okay, we can do that too. Yeah, yes, sir. That works. You want to go to Karen?
Peace. I'm at work as well, so I might have to interact with people. I did the affidavit, but pretty much just paid for services that I didn't receive. Business acumen, business etiquette, just direction on what I should expect. I never had to utilize a jurist service, so pretty much just didn't get what I paid for.
And what was that? Well, can you speak in detail about that?
I paid for debt removal service and trademarking, like logos. I did get the business registration.
How much did you pay for?
I paid $1,500 cash for both services.
And it was to remove debts off your credit report?
debt removal service was $1,500 for the logos. And then after the fact, he was requesting more monies, and I wasn't comfortable with that. We talked about this. I asked for a receipt for that. When I did the initial consultation with him, I gave him $1,500 cash. The very next day, I sent him $100 for the business registration. I asked multiple times for a receipt, never received anything. Really, I didn't. I finally did get some paperwork, maybe a month to 2 months after the fact. But after the interactions, I was no longer comfortable. My trust had been violated. I'm like, what is this? I don't have anything solid to really go by to make me feel comfortable to give him any more money.
What was the document you received a month or 2 months later?
They were, I received, hold on, let me pull it up. From him, on the 14th, I got a email saying, for credit, this is what I'll need, my name, birthday. I forwarded all these emails. My name, birthday, social, driver's license, date of birth, best phone number, email address, current address, last home, social security card, driver's license. That was on September 14th of 20. And then on October 22nd of 20, I got a credit agreement, which I was not comfortable signing because this is not what we discussed in the initial consultation.
And what was the credit agreement that you didn't? More money, or was it?
More money wasn't requested on here. This is pretty much saying that credit restoration services. It didn't speak to anything about the trademarks of my logos. And then on November 27th of 20, I got a bankruptcy form, intake form. I didn't sign any of this stuff that was sent to me after, like a month after we met initially, and the exchanges with the text. I didn't sign or fill out any of this information because I was no longer comfortable with what I was experiencing.
Were your money returned, or did you request for?
I did request my money to be returned via text, and no, it was not. He told me I would return the money, but you didn't do what you said you were going to do, something to that effect. I screenshot the text and put them in the email to you.
I have all those. I have all the text if they want to.
Hi, down the hall, please. Where the computers are.
As far as the business was registered?
Yes, the business registration was fine.
Okay, so you don't have any trademarks either right now?
No, I do not.
Is there anything else you want to add to it? I mean, preliminarily, because we're going to talk about this a little bit more. I am in more detail with your affidavit and stuff. But
at this point, no.
Okay. So we're going to see if Yasmine is ready.
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, go ahead, sis.
So I reached out to Kimway maybe about a year ago or more. Initially, he sent me the intake documents, the link to his website, and information about ARNA. So I went through that. I did studying. I did the test. And initially in the paperwork, because I guess it was outdated, it said that the amount that I was supposed to pay was $360, and then when I contacted him about it, even on the website, it still said $360. And then he said, well, it's $720 now because it changed about 3 months ago. So I said, okay, that's fine, but I just wasn't prepared to pay that amount. I paid $360 initially to get the process started. He said he would grade my test, but it wouldn't be graded until he received the money. So I sent it to get the process started. I never got any information back about my tests. I never got any of my documents. I never got anything processed, no information that I was even in the system at all. So
can you tell us about what time this was? Was this last year?
This is last year, I believe, in like August.
Okay. We have the dates, but I just want you to state it on the record.
Yeah, this was about last August that I started the process. I reached out again about a month later because I hadn't heard anything. Asked if there was anything else that he needed from me. He's just like, no. I sent more money to him. The total was about $510, and then I just didn't get any information back at all. Never heard anything. Never got any response back. No results from my tests. No nothing. So that's when I reached out to Chief to try to figure out what was going on. And honestly, before I did that, I reached out to Bach to figure out if there was something that I missed, like a step that I missed or anything else that I needed to do beforehand, because I didn't hear back from him at all. And I really didn't want to send any more money considering I had sent a lot of money already and I got nothing from it. So that's the gist of my...
Okay. And were you ever refunded any of the money?
No, I didn't get refunded, and I never heard anything back until maybe like a week ago. I just opened the message yesterday, just stating that I had a balance still. But at that point, you had already processed all of my documents and everything, so it wasn't necessary.
When were your documents processed?
My documents just got processed about a month or two ago.
February?
Yes.
Alright. So you started in August, and February is when you got your documents.
Yes.
Alright. Alright. You got anything else you want to add to it? Oh, one more question. When you first started, were you directed to go to the ARNA website? Because I never even asked you this. I don't think I asked you this, but were you directed to go to the ARNA website to register your information by Ken?
No, I was sent like a web form, but it wasn't working for me, so I just went to the website on my own to do it, to find what information I could and did it that way.
Okay. And we have the dates of when that was done, because I know when that was done. Everybody who registers on the site, we get an automatic new entry form that comes to my email that goes to the database, so I can see when people put their registration in. You want to add anything else?
Last thing to just mention, there's a second invite that everyone should have received because it calls about the end of 9 minutes, so just FYI.
So we have to go back to our email and then click again?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Great. All right. So I guess all three went. Y'all want me to close out this 5 minutes or whatever with the prosecution stuff, and then let Ken come when we come back? Summary? Okay. All right. So I'll go in reverse so we can deal with the problems that I see personally as breaches, as evidentiary breaches. Yasmine came in and she started communication with the jurors. The jurors did right, gave her an intake, basically giving her a summary. That's what she's supposed to do. The jurors is also supposed to get her to register with headquarters because we have to have the data. If the jurors doesn't get her to do it and direct her to do it, the jurors can do it themselves. They can go on the website, put in the information that she has. We have it so that if there's any correspondence, anything needs to be done, we can do it. So that initial communication started in August of 2021. She did not pay $720, but money was taken from her and services weren't done. So here's the very simplistic thing. If a person does not have all the money and you're not going to start services, tell the person, one, save your money, start studying, come back to see me when you got all the money. We can do business. Or I'm gonna put you on a payment plan. And the payment plan is this is a contract. I will do this based on the payment plan. According to what we have, that wasn't a payment plan. That wasn't save your money. That was fill out an intake, I'll take your money. A total of $510. $360 first, $150 on the next payment. For a mother, single, with 2 children, coming into a new thing that she's excited about, that she learning about her indigenous heritage. If she's dealing with a person who will go August, September, October, November, December, 6 months without guiding her properly according to how we go, that is a breach. It is a breach of what we listed. And so I don't think that he can have rebuttals, and some of them might be, have some merit. But the overall merit, I don't see it. So let's go to Karen. Karen came to get debt relief services. I have the emails initially that she sent me in 2021 of March, which, in the cross-examination, we could bring that up. So she started complaining a year ago about this situation. Now, I'm in somewhat of a breach because I was supposed to help arbitrate the situation, but I didn't. And I can't use overexhaustion of any particular thing of work as an excuse. This was supposed to have been handled before. So, in some senses, person to person, to me and her, I have to offer her an apology because she had to wait this long just for some type of remedy. That's a whole year of someone's resources. Debt relief, okay, when you do debt relief, you're going to clear somebody's credit report. There are steps and stages. If you're going to take money from somebody, it shouldn't take a month to gather additional information. That information should be gathered up front. So you're starting to see a pattern here. Trademarks. I have the text messages of everything she's saying, and I will present them in the cross-examination to show, yes, he agreed to pay, to accept payment. Yes, he was doing trademarks. They're not done. They're not done. The debt relief is not done. The business got done. If there are additional reasons, he will have to show that. But to this day, there's $1,500 that a sister gave, and there was no refund. There's nothing. If there was confusion, you can always come to headquarters. Look, yeah, boom, 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 boom. This is how you gotta handle this. If you don't know how to do trademarks or whatever, this is how you handle this. Now, I haven't even trained jurists in doing trademarks at all as a service. Never. So this is a service that he decided to do on his own. Okay. Breach. And incorrectly. To the detriment of a person. So what is happening here is jurists are going to have issues with clients, right? You're going to have issues with clients. That's going to happen. But these are private interactions with you and the person in contract on behalf of one another. Lastly, love she. Very simple issues. If Keela was doing her nationality and she needed IDs, gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. So y'all want me to stop now?
Keep going. You have time. Keep going. Keep going. You have time.
All right, I'm closing out now because you got time. If Keela did her nationality and breached her, that's another subject. Then she came to Kenway and said, "Look, I need you to do my IDs." And Kenway says, "Oh, we out of supplies. Hit me up and say, look, Ali, I can't do Love She's IDs because I need some supplies." Boom. I'll show you how to go online because I order them. And the supplies weren't out on my end on where I tell them to order from. And two, if they were, I'll give you some. Or we get somebody else to do the ID. Get another jurist to do it, get headquarters to do it, so the person doesn't have to wait all this time. Or if you're unfamiliar with a procedure about a business, do we or do we not do taxes exempt LLCs? What is this tax exempt certificate? That's in our file that we use. I'm not sure. Let me hit Chief up. Let me hit so-and-so up. And if you pass them to another jurist and you think it's against protocol or you don't know, then other jurists, everybody's supposed to come together as a team to help the person get what they need. But if she has to end up coming to me months later because she's getting 3 different things from 3 different jurists, gotcha. All right, so all I'm saying is the simplicity of this is each one of these have breaches. When we come back to the cross-examination, I have details on each one, all the communications to deal with it, and I will present that. So I'll let the Juror Society close out.
Okay, so we're going to end this meeting now, and everybody just make sure that they check their email for the new link.
Okay. All right.
Peace.
Perfect.
Peace.